Hi, I'm Aaliyah Woods, co-founder of Commonwealth Urban Farms. This is our beginning gardener video series designed to help you have a successful garden even if you've never planted a seed in your life. So today's topic is we're going to transplant the broccoli seedlings that we started from seed a few weeks ago. First, quick little look at our garden as it stands now. The tomatoes, the sun gold tomatoes, are still producing beautifully, falling over the cage. We've got the peppers. I just harvested a little pile of shishito peppers. The shishitos are such a winner of a pepper. We've got the basil, green basil, and we harvested a bunch of the purple basil the other day, and you can see it sprouting back. So that's a really good thing to do with basil, is give it a hard cut every once in a while, and that will encourage new growth. So, seedlings. Here we've got the green onion seedlings that we planted last week. So just in a week, they've already hopped up. They look great, coming along. And the lettuce from a few weeks ago, this is the marvel of 4 seasons. It looks really good. The floral lentillas, only 2 of these germinated and none of the rest of them ever germinated. But I started some more in another pot, so we'll be okay. Now, so here's the broccoli seedlings that we started from seed. We started them on July 12th. Today's August 20th, so that's about 5 weeks old that they are now. So they're ready to transplant. They're still a little bit small, but I think they'll be fine for transplanting, and we need to get them in the ground now. This is a cauliflower seedling that I also started a little bit later, actually, and it's bigger. It was very vigorous seed. So sometimes seed is more vigorous, some varieties and some plants than others. Here's our smart pot that we're going to use to plant into. So we can fit 1 or 2 broccoli seedlings in the size of a smart pot. The more spacing you give them, the faster they'll grow, and we do want them to grow as quickly as possible. The reason that we're transplanting the broccoli seedlings now, in the middle of August, when it's really hot and miserable for us people and for the plants, is because they need a good 2 months to mature. So if we plant them in mid-late August, count another month to September, another month to October, and it's going to be late October before they're actually ready to harvest. Well, usually, or oftentimes, our first freeze is around Halloween on November 1st. The broccoli heads are not frost tolerant. We need to harvest them before we get a hard freeze. If it's a light freeze, you can cover them, but if it's a hard freeze, like, they're going to be a goner. So that's why we need to plant now, so that we can go ahead and get our harvest in before the first freeze. Now, there are some varieties of broccoli that are more heat tolerant, or more cold tolerant. So this is the Johnny's Seed Catalog. They have a fantastic little chart on broccoli varieties. The variety we're planting today is called Green Magic, 57 days from transplant to maturity. It has very good heat tolerance, average cold tolerance. There's other varieties of broccoli that have excellent cold tolerance, like Arcadia. Now it's 63 days, so it's going to be probably another week before, or longer before it matures, but it has poor heat tolerance. Not a great choice for planting right now in August in Oklahoma. But you could wait and plant a seedling like Arcadia in September, and I've planted it before in September and harvested in December and January. It's super cold tolerant. But today we're going to plant these 2 varieties, the Green Magic broccoli, and then another variety of broccoli that's a mini broccoli, called Happy Rich. And it's supposed to be even quicker. They say 27 days from transplant to harvest. It's never been that fast for me, but it is quicker than standard broccolis. The thing you have to remember about those maturity dates, though, is that those are calculated on the basis of spring planting. So in spring, we plant broccoli in March. It matures and is ready to harvest in May. In May, we're getting close to the longest days of the year. It has lots of sun, lots of warmth, it grows fast. In the fall, if we're harvesting in October, we're getting closer to the shortest days of the year. Even though the weather is lovely and the broccoli is happier at that time of year as far as temperature goes, it's going to grow more slowly. So on those maturity dates, you have to add a few days or even a week or longer to get a realistic date. All right, so now we're going to plant. First thing, always, before we plant, is to add some compost. Add some compost in this bucket, ready to go. Dump it in. Just going to lightly work it into the top layer of the soil. Look at that beautiful stuff. All right, now I'm going to take one of the Green Magic seedlings and gently pop it out of the plug. And I'm going to put this one over here and just nestle it in. Just tuck it in and barely cover it with that nice soft soil. And then I'm going to take another one of the seedlings. This is the Happy Rich. Pop it out. Over here. We want to give them a little space. Those roots and the plants need room to grow. And now I'm going to mulch it before I water it. So by mulching it, we're doing several things. We're conserving soil moisture. So once it's watered and the soil is moist, it will not evaporate nearly as quickly if it's mulched. It also maintains more even soil temperature, and the plant roots will be much happier if they're not baking in the heat. Right, and now I'm going to water it in. We want to make sure that the soil is nice and moist. This time of year, when it's really hot, I think today is supposed to be 100 degrees this afternoon, we have to water much more frequently. Just the difference between 95 degrees and 100 degrees is a big difference in the quantity and frequency of watering. All right, how much water? Well, I'm just going to stick my finger in the soil and get a feel for if it's moist. It is. I'll check it again this afternoon. These little seedlings, if they dry out, that's it, they're goners. So we want to give them a little bit of coddling the first week or two while they're getting acclimated to their new home, and just make sure that they stay evenly moist. All right, that's our program for today. Thank you for watching. Happy gardening.